Mother says that we remember all of our early life, but we aren't born with a framework to put memories into for recall. So until we gain this framework, which seems to come through time, we have no idea. We have a load of memories. This is the Lincoln Arboretum. I think I'll go and see if I can find a place to sit down. I don't know if I can or not. I'm not sure if I've ever been here or not, actually. It doesn't look familiar to me. No. Not sure I've ever been here. But I know I've been along the road at the top. There's some seats there, so I'll go and sit down anyway. I have walked a little bit along a place called Lindum Terrace, which is at the top of Lindum Hill. Lindum is the Roman name for Lincoln. And I had a walk along just to see if I could remember where the office of Dr Connell-Jones was, and the answer is I can't. I don't know if I've not walked far enough. Could be a house like that, you see, because it was part of the hospital, but it was a sort of house owned by them, really. This is bizarre, this. But arboretums were usually like parks under a dome. Anyway, so now I'm not sure how long it lasted for. Not very long, I don't suppose. Maybe less than a year. And when I had my issues, or rather, I've always had issues, but it was in, let me think, 1996 that those issues were discovered by my parents, and they took me to a child psychologist twice, because the first time she didn't turn up for the appointment. It's terribly quaint. I've never been here before in my life. And the second time we went to see this child psychologist. She was a woman, and she said, oh yeah, she said, you've got obsessive compulsive disorder, which wasn't hard to imagine, and because you're repressing it, it's coming out in sort of dangerous ways, so to speak. So she decided, look, there's a squirrel over there. Anyway, she decided to refer me for a session of counselling. It was once a week. I was on my own with the guy, Dr Connell-Jones. Connell isn't his first name, it's a double-barreled name, so God knows what his first name was. Dr Connell-Jones, who was exactly as you imagine a stereotypical child psychologist to be. He looked weird, and he felt like he was Freud, Sigmund Freud incarnate, although he didn't actually spout sort of Freudian ideas, well, Jungian ideas, he was certainly very peculiar. I wonder if I can sit in here. This'll do. So I would see him every week, and I'd climb the hill until I got to Lindum Terrace, and then I walked along, and his office was somewhere along there, and we spoke for I don't know how many sessions it was. I don't remember anything about it either. This is the strange thing. They say I'm a late developer, but I think what they mean is I have focuses in other areas, which mean that some of the normal things you would expect to happen don't happen at the right age. So I think part of the problem is I don't have a fixed reference to recall specific memories to do with that. It wasn't important to me at the time, for a start, and secondly, I know most of it, not from my head, but from reading my journals, which record occurrences like that happening. But I can't remember where he was. I think I'm gonna walk up those steps, hope that comes out on Lindum Terrace at the top, and then walk sort of back. It was just sort of an offshoot, really. This is the danger of visiting places like this, is that I have a lot of memories and emotional investments in places like this, because obviously I lived here, I was born here, lived here for 18 years, and even if that has, even if I left here, 15 odd years ago, things like that just don't go away. So I'm going to start walking as I talk. So I probably walked past this park, a couple of times. I've never wandered through it, I've never noticed it before, so it's funny, even I think especially sometimes when you've lived in a place, you don't do the touristy things, do you? Because it's where you live. You don't go on holiday where you live, so why would you do a boat trip on the Brayford? It's the sort of thing that you'd do if you were visiting Lincoln. Well, I wasn't visiting Lincoln, I lived there. Look at that. Nathan Rosario loves lion statues. So, anyway, no sign of Dr Connell-Jones. I think he was quite old when I saw him, so maybe he has since thus expired. I wouldn't like to say. So I'm going to head back. Head back towards the cathedral, which will be the next thing, and the sort of bit at the top, Old Lincoln, and then the castle, and then it will depend on time, because there's something called the lawn, which is lovely. But that might be open tomorrow. We might be able to visit that tomorrow. And then we'll look at Steep Hill going down rather than coming up. And then I want to drop my bag off, and I am thinking I might go to the Odeon on the Brayford to see a film, because it's cheaper down here than in Harrogate, and I'm not even sure the film I want to see down here is on, or will ever be on in Harrogate. But it could well be opening night, and I don't want the late one, because, well, I suppose I could go for the late one, but I don't know sufficiently this part of Lincoln. I don't particularly want to be wandering around in the middle of the night. So anyway, nearly at the top again now, thank goodness. And remember I spoke about a gap between two ridges. There's the ridge on the other side, running across there. We're on the ridge here, and this down here is basically the hole between the two. That's the passage that dwellers here would have controlled with this city, you see. Clever, hey?